Active Directory lets you model the physical layout of your network. And to do so, you need to use the Active Directory Sites and Services snap-in. Click Start. I'm going to open it, the Active Directory Sites and Services applet. And here we see the default structure of sites and services. Notice that there's a site named default first site name. Whenever you install domain controllers, by default, if you haven't configured the physical structure of your network, all servers will be installed in that container, the default first site name site. There are 3 computers configured here. These are all domain controllers, which we can see because it has NTDS settings, a subnode. This network has 2 locations connected by a wide area network. It has a site in Denver and a site in Atlanta. And so let's configure sites and services to model that structure. First, I'm going to rename the default first site name site, and I'm going to call this site Denver. One thing to be aware of is that you can't name sites using spaces or other reserved characters. So Salt Lake City would have to be all one word. Let's create another site, a new site. I'll right-click the site's container and select New Site. I'm going to call this site Atlanta, and we need to choose a site link object that will connect these 2 sites. There's a default site link object that uses the IP transport. It's called default IP site link. We'll select that and click OK. The Atlanta site's been created, but there's a few other things that we need to do to make sure that the physical structure of the network is actually modeled correctly. We need to make sure that it's using the correct site link. We need to add subnets or IP subnets that exist in each site. We need to install domain controllers for that site or move the domain controllers from the default site into the site that represents their true location. And we need to select a site licensing computer. Let's complete a few of those tasks. First, let's create the subnets that exist in each site. Let's right-click Subnet, select New Subnet, and we'll type the subnet address. 192.168.1.0 is a subnet that exists in the Denver site. The subnet mask is 255.255.255. Notice the notation. The slash and 24 indicates that 24 bits in this subnet mask represent the subnet address. The additional 8 bits are used for host IDs. The site is Denver, and we'll click OK. Let's create one other site for the Atlanta site. Right-click and select New Subnet. 192.168.2.0 is the subnet for Atlanta. Again, 255.255.255 is the subnet mask. Atlanta is the site, and click OK to create the new subnet. One last task we want to do right now is move computer 3 to the Atlanta site. This domain controller was installed in the default site, as you remember, but it actually belongs to the Atlanta site. It's located on the 192.168.2 subnet. You can move the server by right-clicking and selecting Move, and select the site that you want to move it to. In Windows Server 2003, instead of using the Move dialog box, there's an easier way. Let's expand the Atlanta site to show the server's container. Now we can just simply click and drag computer 3 to the server's container of Atlanta. Now we've done a fairly good job of modeling the physical structure of this network.